Hey YouTube, how the heck we doing? It's Foul Play here, back for the second match of this Pauper League. We lost our die roll against Burn Man. Going to be mulling this hand and going to be keeping the second hand. So here I think we probably get rid of the Lotus Petal and keep the remainder, getting into it. Alright, opponent plays out Citadel Gates. Looks like blue-white. Blue-white Gates. Probably the Caw-Gates. Hopefully game one we can get a good race going here. Alright, opponent cycles Ash Barrens. They are finding an island. Playing out that island. Passing back to us. We find Rancor. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play our first Ash Barrens. We're going to throw down Abundant Growth on the Ash Barrens. I think here it's the same amount of damage if we play out Rancor or play out Ethereal Armor. So we'll play out Ethereal Armor because that makes 1 extra damage next turn. Opponent has Spell Pierce. Lol. Lame. Guess it makes sense why they're doing all this Ash Baron stuff, sorcery speeds now. We do have good auras to follow up though. Alright, opponent takes the turn off, playing the Modern Age. Draw and discard, looting 1. Are they going to make their land drop for turn? Sacred Cat discarded. No land drop from the opponent. So we have a chance to resolve some auras here. I'm going to... So toss up between Armadillo Cloak and Ancestral Mask. We have multiple masks, but Armadillo Cloak is immediate trample, which could be important. Both deal the same amount of damage. This one also gains us a bit of life. We have to keep in mind our opponent's deck usually runs 4 Prismatic Strands main deck, as well as Suffocating Fumes as a 2 of in the main deck. So we have got our creature past 2 toughness, which is pretty important. Opponent, Sorcery Speed Brainstorms, hits the land drop for turn. Passes back to us. Alright, so we're going to kick it off. We're going to go for Trample here. Opponent holding up Counterspell mana. Alright, opponent bites. There's the counterspell. Alright, at this point with a resolved Ethereal Armor, I think we just clock out our opponent and win the match. So we'll attack for 6, gain 6 life. Pass the turn to our opponent. Alright, Modern Age flips. Opponent has the Vector Glider. Embalms the Scared Kitty. Action back to us after that one. So we have a choice here. We can land cycle. Let's go ahead. We'll get another plains. Make sure we have 2 white sources here. Opponent, again with counter magic mana up. Alright, so plains to hand. We're going to continue to try and drain our opponent's resources. We'll go ahead and play out the Ancestral Mask. If they have counterspell, they're going to use it. Alright, there's the second counterspell for the opponent. Reason I chose Ancestral Mask there over Armadillo Cloak, it is the stronger aura, but if we resolve it, we just win the game on the spot. As it is, the game continues. We're still in a really strong position. Alright, opponent plays out second Modern Age. Do they hit their land drop? This is turn 6. They've missed several land drops now. Alright, they play out a plains, which means there's no counterspell. We could still be facing another Spell Pierce though. The list I'm looking at here is 2 Spell Pierces in the main deck. Alright, opponent attacking in with the Kitty, gaining life. I think that's a very wise decision to attack in with that because we could kill it off first strike, etc. Alright, so we do find Abundant Growth. So Abundant Growth, throw on Ash Barrens. It's free cast. We can't play around Spell Pierce either way with Armadillo Cloak at the minute. So Armadillo Cloak. And if this resolves, that is lethal. Opponent, another Spell Pierce. Alright, this is going to continue on for at least 1 more turn. We're going to attack in. Opponent has to block with the Vector Glider. Vector Glider comes in, blocking. This will put our opponent to 1 life. We're up to 41. Hopefully. Opponent does not have Prismatic Strands in the graveyard yet. They also don't have a gate on ballistic gate on the battlefield to start lifelinking these cats. If they do, it's still only an extra 2 life. I think we're in a very strong spot here. We see Guardian discarded to the grave with the Modern Age trigger. Opponent attacking in. Alright, this has to be a tell of prismatic strands being in hand. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to attack with our scout. Not going to play anything pre-combat. This next Bogle is going to be post-combat. And it's going to be used to block out some of these cats. We'll block the token first so that they don't get an extra embalm trigger. Really unfortunate we drew Abundant Growth and Ethereal Armor that way. If it was the other way around, we could have played around Spell Pierce. Our opponent would already be dead. So, Vector Glider flips opponent. Second Vector. Plays Island for turn. Still no Ballistic Gate. That's good news for us. They pass to us. Alright, so we'll go ahead. Green mana. Utopia Sprawl over here. Giving the Ethereal Armors a buff. I guess it does not matter what color we tap for. We're going to go ahead, attack with our scout. Our scout is lethal. Bogle on defense, blocking out these cats. So opponent's going to flash back here. Sure. And no damage to be had. They can choose to block and gain 1 life here because Prismatic Strands, they can choose only green creatures can't deal damage, meaning their cat can still deal damage. Alright, so we've got a few more of these Prismatic Strands to try and fog through, but we do have a healthy life total. Alright, opponent sees their card that they draw and it's no good. They're going to concede. Alright, so this is the patented Caw-Gates deck list that has been very, very popular as of recent. So as you can see here, Suffocating Fumes in the main deck, giving neg1 to opponent's creatures. Also Prismatic Strands, which we already saw. The Ballistic Gate giving the buff effect. In the sideboard, we have to worry about Dust to Dust, Arms of Hater, I guess potentially Chainer's Edict, depending on what our opponent's flavor is. I guess because it's not in the main deck, we won't play around Chainer's Edict though. Sorry about that. Dust to Dust is in is not the card I was thinking of. That was Holy Light, which is white mana that gives a neg effect to the board. Alright, so it should be hopefully obvious here what we're going to be bringing in. We're going to be bringing in Standard Bearer to retarget this gate activation. We're going to bring in Flaring Pain to get around these fog effects. If you are enjoying the video as well, guys, want to see more like it, please consider subscribing. Alright, as for boards out, I guess Ancestral Mask is a little bit slow. Standard Bearer can be considered an efficiency swap for Ledgewalker, so we can take out Ledgewalker. I want to keep in the Lotus Petals to try and be quick here. Alright, this hand on the play, 7 cards. This hand is no good. We don't have any white mana in hand, and we're stuck on 1 land with 2 3-mana spells. Opponent mulligans to 6 as well. Alright, so this one we can Abundant Growth. We're on the draw here. Can Abundant Growth. Standard Bearer is not too bad. It's sort of weak into Arms of Hater though. We are also trying to resolve a creature through counterspell specifically. Plus is it has Flaring Pain, and we have some pretty reasonable auras. I think on the balance of things, I think we want to keep this. Alright, opponent plays out Seagate. Blue-white. Lands entering tapped. We find Cartouche of Solidarity. Alright, can we hit our land drop off the Abundant Growth? Well, it is a mana. In a pinch, we can use it. Alright, opponent, Sorcery Speed Brainstorm, looking to set up their mana. That's good news for us. It means we can resolve our creature. If we hit land, we can resolve our creature and give it toughness. Alright, we don't hit land. It's a little bit awkward here. Alright, throw out our guy. Pass the turn. Crossing our fingers. We got a hope. We got a prayer. Opponent plays Citadel Gate. Oh, this one comes down. It has black mana attached to it. So we're really going to want to try and grow this toughness on our creature. They play out the Sacred Cat. So, Spell Pierce or Bust. Second Sacred Cat. Alright, so we can get around that specifically. Alright, unfortunately, still no mana. We're really tempoing ourselves out at the moment. We'll start attacking with Standard Bearer. Opponent, Sorcery Speed, Preordain. And that is 2 cards to the top for our opponent. They play out Seagate. Seagate on blue-white. So just the one instance of black currently for the opponent. If opponent attacks here, I guess we trade off the warrior token with 1 cat. Then they have to spend mana embalming it, and that brings tempo. Opponent going after our mana. How rude. Revoke existence. Alright, we'll go ahead. We'll block the cat here. Trade off. Opponent gains 2 life. We find Cartouche. Cartouche. Not super exciting. So still no mana for us. We'll continue our attacks. Opponent on 16. Gaining life back on the crackback. Opponent. Guardian of Guild Pack. 2 power and toughness. Alright, so we can't currently attack into our opponent. They have protection from monocolored. However, we do find the mana source. We are going to be able to unload on our creature. So here we go. Cartouche. Rancor. Alright, we're off to the races again. Standard Bearer getting in there. Can we develop opponent flogging 3 damage? Can we develop our mana, have access to Flaring Pain, and stop future Prismatic Strands? Or is our opponent going to stabilize and smack back with the cat, gaining life? Good news is Ballistic Gate has to target Bearer, so we're in a very comfortable spot here. Guess there's no real point to block this time. Like this cat's a better block and everything. We find Ash Barrens. Well, I think we've got a pretty strong read on our opponent having Counterspell up. So we're going to go ahead, start things off. We're going to attack. Second main, play out the Scout. See if the Scout triggers Counterspell from the opponent. It does not. Alright, we'll pass turn. End of step, cycle Ash Barrens. Now we can be a bit more liberal with this warrior token, throwing away on the cat embalm. Opponent sending in with everything. So, I mean, I would assume Prismatic Strands, they might have a second Guardian to block with. Alright, so no other effects from the opponent there. So we'll go ahead, get a second Forest here. Untap. Find Glade Cover Scout. Alright, let's go ahead, we'll attack. If they're hardcasting Prismatic Strands, and put our opponent to 1 here. If they hardcast Prismatic Strands, then we can Armadillo Cloak second main, which would be really, really strong. Past Counter Magic. I guess Spell Pierce still gets us again. But that's Spell Pierce not spent on Flaring Pain. Alright, opponent bites Prismatic Strands on white. So we do get 1 point of damage through. Can't Flaring Pain just yet. Alright, Armadillo Cloak thrown down. Past the Counter Magic. That is a big success. Excited to see that. Now we just need to develop our mana. Opponent needs an untapped white creature to... Oh, opponent gets rid of the Glade Cover Scout. So I guess Guardians on defense, Guardians on offense. I think it's correct to defend with the cat. I guess it doesn't make a huge difference, but 1 deals more damage. Alright, off the top, we find Abundant Growth. That is huge. Now we can Flaring Pain instant speed. Opponent tapped out. Drawing a card. Second Flaring Pain. All right, just in time. Standard Bearer ready to do its thing. Opponent's not going to be dead quite yet, though. They have gained enough life. They are on 9. We will trample them to 6. Oh no. Opponent misplays. Instead of blocking and casting Prismatic Strands, they just go ahead and... Alright, so we go to blockers. Now, Flaring Pain. Counteracts. Deal exactly 9 damage to the opponent. Oh no. Alright, that's an unfortunate one for the opponent. We did get a bit unfortunate last match though, so I guess it evens out. Should be said that it's not necessarily completely won there, but we do have 3 more casts of Flaring Pain to try and get through after getting 9 life on the stack and going back up to 20. So I think we're in a really strong position to win that one, but they could again go after Abundant Growth and make things hard for us. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the match. If you want to catch more action like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. As always, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and until next time, have a great day.